Hello everybody, this is Phoenix bringing you the 9th mission in my Halo Wars Legendary Walkthrough Guide. This is the Flood. Now the Flood is not a very difficult mission, it's a very short mission, and there are a few different strategies that you can use to complete this mission, get a gold medal, and finish under par time. If you wanted to, this mission could easily be completed in like 12 minutes if you really just stuck to the strategy, and like if you didn't care about the skull, you didn't care about the black box, you didn't care about the achievement, you could really finish this mission like in 12 minutes or something like that. But in this mission, I get the skull, I get the black box, and I make sure I get those colonies dormant so you guys can get that achievement. But getting into the mission, I want to point out that we get the reactor first because we want to upgrade those heavy supply pads to heavy supply pads as fast as possible. This helps jumpstart our economy much quicker than if we just made the reactor our last priority. Now with Forge and the Marines, we want to make sure that we're using them throughout this entire early part of the mission. A lot of people who play strategy games make a lot of the same mistakes. They don't really do much in the early part of the game because they're kind of just sitting there playing the waiting game, waiting for them to get the supplies that they need to upgrade all their stuff. And to me, that's a huge disservice to you, and it could actually ruin your how you want the game to go out for you. You can end up losing, you can end up not doing as well as you could have. So what I mean by that, and I apologize if this sounds like I'm rambling, but again, the early part of this mission is just building your base and just using Forts and the Marines to go gather stuff, but this is an important part of playing a strategy game that I really wanted to touch on. When you start out a mission, or if you're starting out a match, you want to make sure you're doing as much as you can in the shortest amount of time possible. And you also want to make sure that you are aware, if you're playing the campaign, of what you're going into. For an example, this is a Flood mission, right? So I know that I'm not going to be wanting to use Bio or Marines in this case. If I'm using Marines against the Flood, then I am already countered. That's a hard counter against me, and it would just end badly. But I know that I can counter the Flood better because I have vehicles, and vehicles can't get infected and they can't turn against me. So, logically speaking, the initial counter for this should be either air or vehicles. So I'm either going to be using Hornets or tanks, which is what we end up doing, and I split them up into two because both have different, even though they're similar in terms of like they still give you a gold medal, they kind of are different in terms of the like initial setup of how you do this. I guess if that makes sense. But I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of insight into what you should be thinking about when you go into this mission, or into any mission. Like if you're struggling to get off the ground, always have a set plan in your head. Okay, I know I'm facing the Covenant. I know they're going to send a bunch of hunters at me. Maybe I should, if I have air available to me, maybe I should use air. Or maybe I should use anti-infantry. Or maybe I could split those hunters up and use some tanks. But what I'll do is I'll use carpet bomb first before I send my tanks in. And then I'll use canister shell to clear the weakened ones out. So that's kind of what you want to always make sure you're thinking about while you're in the early part of the mission. You always want to make sure that you're thinking like, okay, how can I turn something bad that's happening, how could I turn a situation that I'm in into a positive for me? That's how you want to approach a strategy game. And that's not just for the campaign. That's for any match that you play online. If you see your opponents going infantry, why would you want to counter them? You don't want to go into it saying like, oh, you know what, they already got me because I'm hard countered. No. You want to have a set plan, and you want to be, with that plan that you have in your head, you want to be a few steps ahead of them. So if you're trying to counter, let's say in this you're facing somebody who's going vehicles, right? And you're already getting like hunters if you're the Covenant. You want to make sure that you get anti-infantry so you can counter them trying to kill your hunters. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. So I wanted to touch on that because I think a lot of people who initially start playing strategy games and end up coming to guides don't really they don't have the experience to think like that in terms of, and that's not a bad thing as well. That's just an experience being able to play in a different setting. Like if you're playing a fast-paced shooter, like even those you kind of go into it like, okay, there's somebody going this, I know that they're going down this sight line, I want to be able to go around them so I can flank them. That way I can make the situation better for me. It's the same thing. It's just how do you approach it? And I know that sounded like me rambling for like 4 minutes about something that's probably a non-issue for most people, especially if you're playing on legendary difficulty. But again, I don't really have much else to talk about in this early part of this mission. So, once you get the Hornets though, this is where the mission really starts to take off, and we're just going to go to the races as soon as we have all of our Hornets. Upgrades and your Hornets, they are very important. I know in the previous videos that I've made, in terms of the field armory, you want to balance them out. You don't want to initially get your field. You don't want to, like, some people will probably get their field armory, make that their main focus, get all the upgrades, and then they'll get their units. No, you want to balance them out. You don't want to get all your upgrades first, because then you're just going to get overwhelmed. This also translates to PvP. You want to get your units up first. That way you have a defense, or an offense in this case. And then what you can do while you're waiting for everything, you can just go back and upgrade, like I'm doing currently. A lot of people forget that on the D-pad, the left and right D-pad, the left and right arrows on the D-pad will basically move you between your bases. So if you have like that second base up in the mini-map, if you decide to go take that, in this video I don't take it, if you want to switch between all of your bases, just hit the left and right arrow. That way you're always making sure you're saving some time, instead of just hitting the left trigger and speeding around the map. What else can I talk about in terms of this mission currently? So after we grab all the stuff for Forge, like all the supplies that we can grab, we're going to send the Marines and Forge to the eastern side of our base, this right side. I guess it would be the northeastern side of our base. That way we can defend that side. Forge will be our main tank, since he can't get turned by the infection forms, but those Marines can. So Forge is going to tank the infection forms for us, and the Marines are going to be our supporting fire for Forge. So once we get all 10 Hornets, we're going to go up to this the most western part of the map and go take the black box. As I said in this mission, the only reason why this mission isn't done in less than 12 minutes is because I'm taking the black box, I'm taking the skull, and I'm going to make sure all those colonies are dormant for you guys. There is one main weakness to the Hornets, and it's this Flood Spore Tower. That thing can, I believe, 2 or 3 shot your Hornets, and it's very difficult for you to get away from. So if you're trying to micro away like I tried to, you're going to have a difficult time, because that thing is just going to immediately home in on it, and I don't think it ever misses you. We're going to set the global rally point to where our Hornets are currently at, which is just going to be this first colony. I believe there are 6 or 7 colonies. I forget exactly how many, but irrelevant. We're just going to kill them all. Once we destroy all 20 stocks, though, we're going to just go around the map destroying every single colony along the way, rescue our Spartans, and then finish the mission in a blaze of glory, which is going to be our nice and wonderful carpet bomb that we are currently upgrading. Or, I mean, what we will end up upgrading to. So, as we sit here, we're just going to start clearing out. Be careful of the Flood Swarm. That's your only other major counter to you. And that's not even a real counter. That's just a bunch of other air fighting air. Even though it looks like they do a lot of damage to you, they really, really don't. You outnumber them. You actually out damage them. So one Hornet going up against one Flood Swarm, you guys, a Hornet should win. But yeah. This mission, as I said, is fairly simple. If you got to that point and you already got the skill, you already got the black box, and you don't really care about the achievement, just go take those 10 Hornets and immediately go destroy that. Go rescue the Spartans, of course, and then go to the Protograve mine, destroy it, and call it a day.
Enemy engagement. Local units.
All right, so
Spirit of fire.
if you take a little bit, those Spartans will start to get antsy, but we'll rescue them in a few moments. I could have saved some time here, actually. Watching this back, I took a little too much time not worrying about those stocks. I could have probably finished this sub 16 if I just worried about getting those stocks, but instead I'm kind of just sitting back, relaxing, and killing a bunch of flood because, you know what, why not? If you're gonna spend some time making sure you clear out some of the flood, you want to destroy those little like structures around. They go dormant, kind of like the colony does, but you want to make sure you destroy those because they produce like a bunch of enemy flood infection forms or flood swarms and stuff like that. I lost a Hornet there because of bad micro. I mean, it's a campaign mission still. You want to make sure that your micro is on point. On Xbox, it's a little bit more difficult, but on PC, that should be no issue. Hotkeys are wonderful. Heading back to base, getting that large carpet bomb set.
Local units. Local units.
So once we get that large carpet bomb starting to be upgraded, we can actually start destroying these colonies. I mean, I know that we still have some stops to do, but we're going to start clearing out some of this area. Because, I mean, like, as I said, from the moment you get your first Hornet, it's like 10 minutes, and then you're finished with the mission. It's that quick.
Not sure what just happened.
So we're going to go destroy the 9 remaining stocks that we need to. Go grab the skull, destroy all the colonies, go rescue Spartans, call it a day. Alright.
We noticed a few colony creatures on the way in.
So, if you weaken all the colonies, and this is what I actually suggest, even if you do like want to just finish it, like go guns blazing and not care about the skill of black box or whatever, is go around and just go destroy those colonies, because the Protograve mine is pretty much always revealed to you. I believe it's always revealed. So you can just carpet bomb it once it gets weak enough, and that just ends the mission. So after a while, as the mission drags on, you start to get more intense flood attacks at your base, but because we're getting those large turrets and those elephants are doing a fantastic job at defending our base, we don't really have to worry about much attacks. Like, if you want to, you could get flame mortars on 2 of your turrets, the two on the side, and then your 2 turrets in the back that aren't dealing with the infection forms. You can make those the missile ones, and then they'll just help destroy those flood swarms a little bit quicker for you. Upgrading to the advanced reactor again, so we can get that chaff pause upgrade. Reinforcements, so nice, because now we can get 5 more, making this mission just go even faster. Again, this mission is very, very simple. If you're quick, as I said, it's just going to be a very simple mission. You can relax. Like, this mission's not going to be much of a...
More resources required.
It's not that, like, the attacks on your base aren't so intense that you really just have to get this over with, like it is in the next mission. This mission, very, very chill, just like Anders' Signal or the previous mission.
All units.
Alright. Gonna go up here. Clear the remaining stocks. I believe we only need 2 more? Maybe it's 2 more. Alright, so 2 towers. If you deal with multiple towers like this, you're going to lose your Hornets very fast. It's just easier for you to carpet bomb them. 600 supply. That's why I actually didn't get any more Hornets initially, because I was like, okay, I believe there's these 2 towers up here, and I'm not going to fight them with my Hornets, because that's just going to wreck my combat efficiency. Alright, back to base. Now, one of the things that I actually really regret in this mission not doing is healing and repairing my Hornets. That is something you should do all the time. If you're not using your heal and repair, you're actually being less efficient. What am I saying? You're being less efficient with your supplies. You're being less efficient with your economy, essentially.
About time you guys showed up.
Alright, once we rescue the Spartans, we're going to put them all in a Hornet. We don't really... like, it just makes our Hornets even more efficient, so why not, right?
Base under attack.
So as I said, once we rescue the Spartans, we're going to go grab the skull and then destroy those colonies.
On my way. On my way.
And we're going to send this guy to actually go grab the skull. Oh, actually, no, he's going to send there. I think we already sent this guy over here to go grab the skull for us.
On my way.
It's going to be the rebel leader skull, I believe. There it is.
All units. Enemy engagement.
Make sure if you use all units, you don't accidentally send all your units.
Local units.
Like Forge and the Marines. Like, then they'll actually just go out and just, you'll see like, okay, why is Forge here for some reason?
Local units.
But as I said, once you have all these Hornets in the air, like, you're pretty much unstoppable. You don't even need Hawks for this.
Local
It's
units.
Hornets OP.
Local units.
But when you see the tanks, now that's going to be something even better. And I am right. It turns out that you do see the Protograve Mine pretty much all the time. So if you want to just Hail Mary it and say, like, you know what, I believe my Carpet Bomb will take this thing out, go for it.
Local units.
Hornet in the air.
All units.
Okay, making sure that Forge and those Marines just kind of chill.
Local units.
One more colony after this guy is destroyed, and then that's mission complete. And then Mr. Protograve Mine gets absolutely thwacked. Or destroyed. Whatever. You have so much firepower, don't worry about those towers, the flood spore towers. You're going to be fine. We're going to toss down the first heal and repair I throw down, and then we're going to throw down Carpet Bomb as soon as this guy gets destroyed so we can get the achievement. If the colony's dormant thing pops up, then hooray, you got the achievement. After you destroy the Protograve Mine.
Enemy.
So that's the mission. As I said, it's extremely easy. Might not be easy, but it is extremely simple. Hornets, very nice. Mobility is excellent. And as you see here, in a few seconds, you will see that gold medal pop up. We got under par time. I hope this guide helps you out. If it did, please leave a like down in the description. If you have any questions about the guide, feel free to comment. And I'll see you guys next time for the next mission.